Hello race fans, James Dimmitt with Damn It Dimmitt Race Videos on YouTube, Dimmitt Race Videos on Facebook, because you can't say damn it on Facebook. Anyways, I want to thank you for tuning in. It's a new episode of The Pit Stop. Every driver at the racetrack wants to see this, wants to hold on to this checkered flag at the end of the race. And if they have this in their hands, there's a good chance that this guy right here is taking their picture. Chris Goodaker, how are you?
If they have that in their hands, they spent $2 at my booth.
Well, this one, you have a much bigger
There's
one,
a better one out
and an
there.
official one out there. Absolutely. Chris Goodaker from Goodaker Photography. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're not getting rained on tonight, which is a nice change of pace for this year. So I'm looking forward to a great night of racing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night here. I got to ask you, which came first, racing or photography?
That's kind of the chicken or the egg, I guess. Theoretically racing, because I wasn't old enough to hold a camera. But then as soon as I became old enough to hold a camera, I'm always bugging Dad, hey, let me take a picture. And they were terrible, absolutely terrible. But I got better.
You got to start somewhere, just like the drivers, right?
Exactly.
What was the first track you ever went to watch races?
Ileana Motor Speedway, before I was old enough to know what was going on, really.
Did you have a favorite racer out there?
Mike Martin. There was one night we were going in the pits after the races, and I decided I wanted to sit in the car, and his was the first one, and we've been friends ever since.
So what was the first track you started taking pictures at?
Once again, Ileana Motor Speedway. In 2007, we had... So my brother, he stole Dad's camera. I was trying to get on a crew behind the wheel, and Brian, he kind of migrated with Dad, taking pictures in the pits. Chuck Gonzalez, who was the track photographer out there at the time, said, "Hey, you any good? Come on the infield." And that turned into, he got a job with the ASA Late Model Series and was touring around, needed somebody to shoot Ileana, so we became the fill-in. And then he decided that was a lot of work, and he didn't want to deal with it. So if you want Ileana, it's yours. So we kind of backdoored our way into a job there. And then when Ileana closed, Dad and I, we decided we're done with this. Brian's moved on, got married, all kinds of fun. So we were sitting up in the stands, and Dad has a collection, I guess had a collection, I have it now, of racing pictures going back almost every late model and sportsman that has raced at Ileana or Grundy back to 1986, and then just kind of random stuff beyond that. And he wanted to continue the collection, so we were friends with Brian Nolte out here, so we'd meander out in the infield, shoot practice, go up in the stands, watch the rest of the races, which eventually turned into staying out in the infield all night, which eventually turned into, hey, you want this job? Because they don't want me to do race director and photographer. Okay. And then out at South Bend, it was that same year, Dad and I had been sitting in the stands out there, and South Bend had a big showdown at the end of the year. So Kim Kemperman, of all people, introduced me to Jay Freed, and I said, hey, you mind if I come shoot? And Jay said, absolutely, more the merrier, come on down. And he hasn't been able to get rid of me since. So then that turned into also shooting at Plymouth, and then we were still friends with the Alger family, who was, related to the McCoolies, I guess Mike McCooley that owned Ileana. So when Billy bought Shady Hill, there was a year of transition, and eventually Billy said, hey, you're our photographer now. So we got all, 3 now.
How many pictures would you say you take in a typical night here at Grundy?
Here at Grundy, between Aaron and I, it's usually 12 to 1,500. Last week at South Bend, we was over 3,300. So we just, it's the last time there, we shot everything.
You have to keep your head on a swivel when you're in the infield, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Standing out there, everybody thinks, oh, I can go take pictures of race cars. Taking pictures is the easiest part of what's going on out there, because over the time, you get practicing, you learn to hear what the cars are doing. I can tell you where pretty much any car is on the track when I'm in the middle there, just knowing where everybody is at. Spotting wrecks 5 or 6 laps before they happen, which helps a lot, knowing what to shoot, but also knowing where those cars are going to end up and how to get out of the way.
That's part of the skill involved. You kind of develop another sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Listening to the sounds, seeing what's happening between a couple cars that might be getting a little, shaky with each other, and then you just kind of know something's going to happen there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Take us through a typical day, like once you get to the track.
But yeah, get out here. We set up all the photo booth, and then we got, I distribute all the trophies, so I got to get the trophies set up. I got to get the victory lane signs, the actual big checkered flag out there, and then it's just kind of hurry up and wait. And then we start practicing. I got Aaron out there right now taken probably way too many pictures, but I'd rather have more than enough than not enough. Because there's a couple times we've only gotten one picture of a car before it either puts it in the wall or the car blows up, and the way I am, I can't deal with that. I got to have a picture of everybody so that we have a full collection, going back to Dad's collection. So then through, the rest of the night, I will put about 15,000 steps in a day, going back and forth from my corner to victory lane. And then, end of the night, Julie does a great job. Usually has the booth all broken down for me, so I don't have to do too much of that. But then, I got an hour and a half home, and I download all the pictures. And usually when I get home, I'm up for another hour, 2 hours, getting all the feature winners sent out, and doing all the get ready before I can take a nap and get up and start editing.
Now, you've taken a lot of pictures in your career as a track photographer. Do you have a favorite picture that you've taken?
Oh, beyond a doubt, yes. So Dad, when he was here, he would always stand out in turn 2 and shoot, because that's where the best lighting is. So that's where he always stood. And I was out there, I think I just brought him dinner, and Larry Schuler was on the track. Larry Schuler was Dad's favorite driver ever. Out of every driver, he liked Larry the best. He liked everybody else second. But I got a picture of Dad taking a picture of Larry, and that
says it all.
That's kind of self-explanatory right there.
For those of you that don't know, Goodaker Photography is the official photographer here at Grundy County Speedway. They do have a Goodaker Photography booth. You can buy programs, you can buy race flags, and of course you've got the pictures. You've got them arranged in different books for all the different classes. So people should come over here before the races or at intermission, check them out.
And your division's not on the track.
Exactly.
We got to
if they don't see something but they are thinking about it, what should they do?
Goodakerphotography.com. Just stop by the booth. We got little cards that have a QR code on it. It'll take you right to all the different albums at all the different tracks.
You also do a podcast with Jeremy Banning
Ileana
and
Stock Car Radio.
Your brother, Ileana Stock Car Radio.
Named
Tell us
after the place where Jeremy and I met.
Okay.
So Jeremy had this idea to do a NASCAR podcast, and I think the third episode he did, he asked me if I wanted to be the guest star. Well, yeah, sure, why not? And that turns into more of a co-host job as opposed to the one episode guest star. And a few episodes into that, we say we're not really getting any traction with NASCAR. Why don't we talk about local racing? People care about local racing, and it just kind of blew up from there.
All right, race fans, we're going to wrap this up. We'd love to have you come out to the Grundy County Speedway, check out everything. You can hear the cars on the track right now. I believe sounds like the midgets.
Sounds like, yeah.
Sounds like the midgets. Midgets, super.
Not coming at me.
Exactly. Usually in this area, we're pretty safe.
Usually.
Yeah. So super late models, midgets, street stocks, mid-ams, all kinds of stuff. Check out the Grundy County schedule at grundyspeedway.com. Again, that's grundyspeedway.com. And for pictures and other things, you have a lot of stuff. You've got printed up posters and all kinds of things, koozies and cups and flags and whatnot. Check out goodakerphotography.com.
Goodakerphotography.com for our pictures, and then shop.goodakerphotography.com for all of our other stuff.
And I'm going to put that up on the screen for you along with the QR code, so people can just go right to that spot. Chris, thanks a lot for your time. I know you got stuff to do tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. There are cars on the tracks. You got to go take some photos.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.